I'm Jill Bernstein, and welcome to the 29th Floor. I'm here with Austin Carr, who wrote a big feature that we have out now about Starbucks and its controversial Race Together campaign. The first thing that I want to talk about is what everybody was talking about in the wake of Race Together, which is, what the hell happened?
Well, a lot of things went wrong, that's for sure. Basically, Race Together was this whole campaign to start a national dialogue about race in response to the Michael Brown and Eric Garner killings. But the way it was rolled out, this idea that you would write Race Together on a cup, while I think well-intentioned, was just like a really awful way to actually execute on the idea, and a lot of people picked up on that. So I'd say that's what went wrong, but I think what's more interesting, perhaps, is what they're doing beyond that, which is still sticking to the campaign.
So that's the other thing that's interesting, is I think a lot of people thought after this implosion that Starbucks abandoned the whole thing, that it was a failure, but in reality the opposite was true. The company actually benefited from it.
Yeah, exactly. They've actually started to do pilot studies during this time, and what they actually found was with something like Race Together, they actually saw an uptick in how the brand was perceived, despite all the negative reaction on Twitter. And when they start to stand up for values that their employees care about, that's what helps them retain more talent, that's what helps attract more customers. Business improved. That was one of a record-setting quarter in many ways for the company following the Race Together rollout.
What's the most striking thing that you've taken away from this reporting experience?
One thing definitely is I think a lot of reporters, rightly so, are trained to be skeptical, but that can really bleed into a cynicism very quickly. You know, the idea of Howard Schultz, this billionaire, talking about race, I just thought I would go into this and be like, what are you doing, really? This is going to look just optically really bad. But I traveled to Spelman College with Howard Schultz. I traveled with him to Atlanta and hung out at Starbucks headquarters in New York as well. And just seeing him interact with a lot of the people in this audience and, you know, at these different crowds at these different cities. I mean, not only is he super genuine about this, but like, he's just not a cynical person. I mean, one thing he said to me as I was sort of being my reporter ways and pushing him in a very, I guess, skeptical, cynical way, he was just saying, look, if I had to worry about who was going to make fun of me or who was going to be cynical about what I'm doing now, I would have never started the company. He's right. I mean, what other CEO is talking about this? And at least if he is talking about this, it's for inclusion and not exclusion.
This is something that's happening right now. The role of a CEO is changing. What is a CEO's responsibility to his or her company, employees, and society? CEOs are very powerful and touch a lot of people's lives, and it's kind of exciting to be part of this discussion. What do you think about the Race Together campaign? Do you think it has a lot of potential going forward? What should it look like? Tweet us at #29thFloor.